Welcome everybody. We're live. Welcome everybody. This is difficult, proving it as we speak. Yes, we play lots of video games and video game related things and like to talk about said things. We have an action-packed week for you this week as we discuss a bunch of shit. But wait, are we live? What does your face look like we don't have
We're
sound?
not live yet.
No, we're live. We're live. My mic wasn't set because my
Okay.
computer's stupid, but everyone should be able to hear you.
Paul had that. Something's wrong with the audio look.
There was something wrong, but you guys are good.
But yeah, so we like to indulge on the nerdiness here, and we talk about all that good stuff, and we play video games and whatnot. We got a pretty big one here. I'm going to pass it off. Oh yes, I am your host, Lord Yeshua, and my name is Josh, and we got Paul. You're on his channel. That's Ryugami-san. We got Zach joining us for, yeah, you're going to be seeing more of him maybe. I don't know. Yes. And that's another letdown. And then Colin, you can't see him, but you can kind of see him. Does he get a square on this?
Yeah, we got him on the milk carton.
Is he in the milk carton? Yes.
Oh, that's good. But
The
he's
return of the milk carton.
Return of the milk carton. That's awesome.
And the disembodied voice that is Colin.
Yes, so he is here, and that is 4G is the unknown. 4G is the missing, we'll call him. And then I'm going to pass off to Paul to give us the deets on our fat week today.
Okay, so this week what we're doing, we're kind of switching it up a little bit. We're not doing our regular format where we talk about the games we've been playing and this and that and a review, so on and so forth. We're going to do our top 5 games of the year that we played this year. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a game from this year, but it is a game that we played this year, potentially for the first time, even though it might not be a game that came out this year. Some of them will be, but some of them won't.
This is kind of our homage to the Game of the Year awards, just our Game of the Year awards. Yeah,
exactly. So we're probably just gonna jump right into that.
Beam, boom, bop. Let me look at the list.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Am I first here?
I think you're first.
Yes, you are.
Like
I'm
top of the list. We're starting with our number 5.
Welcome aboard, everyone. So number 5, this is going to be not necessarily our least favorite, but just like the 5th pick of our favorite games that we played for the first time this year. My number 5 pick was Doom Eternal. So, how are we doing this? Like a mini review?
I don't know, Colin. Are you like throwing pots and pans around? What's going on here?
Things as we speak? He's really taking advantage of this.
Hear that?
Hear you scream.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard all of that.
Colin's probably
Why
on
did you guys say that earlier?
Maybe if you're chucking pans against walls, you can mute your mic for a moment.
Yeah. Oh my God. Is that
You
what's
guys
happening?
I would have stopped. I was like, I guess I can't hear me. Cool. This is working pretty well.
Really, no one can hear you scream.
I think
No one can
more
hear
than that,
anything.
we were fascinated by what we were hearing.
I wanted more.
Well,
It's like, is he
That's
cleaning
you
out his
guys' fault,
garage?
but-
What's happening right now?
you know, I'm actually shoveling rocks. Like,
Oh, what?
that's what I'm literally doing.
Making a Zen garden?
Very cool.
I'm
No, he's not.
literally shoveling rocks.
Just
So,
work out of it for the work ethic.
Yeah.
No, to get gravel. No, never
Here's the
mind.
thing. We sentenced
Yeah.
Colin to hard labor for
Yeah, that's
quitting
what
the
it was.
show.
I'm dying. I'm out of shape. This is horrible.
No, you don't work out anymore?
No, I do. I'm just not in the best of shape anymore. So
Yeah, same.
Shoveling is aerobic too, and that's like kind of more hard for me at least. Yeah.
yeah,
I had to shovel a bunch of snow this week, and boy, am
Oof.
I feeling it now.
That sounds intense.
I just
stood up
lifted, like,
today.
80 pounds of cement, like 10 80-pound things of cement bags.
Jesus Christ.
My God.
That was awful.
That's a lot.
Right
I'm
on.
That's
dying.
our show, guys. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's the show. Thanks,
Yes.
guys.
My
Come back
number
next
5,
week.
number 5 pick is going to be Doom Eternal. This game is fucking amazing. There are very few bad things to say about this game. If you haven't heard of it, it's the sequel to the new reprisal of the Doom series. So you're getting Doom in all of its fucking intense metal, bloody gore, insanely amazingness. It's absolutely the most. I thought this should have won Best Action Game personally on the awards, but to me, it is literally the most action-heavy game I have ever played, and that's basically why it's in my top here. But the music's incredible. The gameplay is so fast and adrenaline rushing. Like, I could literally only play this game for max an hour at a time. It is just so intense and hardcore. Not for the timid. If you are scared of games that are either too hardcore, too fast-paced, too intense, like something scary. It's not scary, but like I can see people being scared of this game. I wouldn't recommend it for you, but I would say if you like something really intense and fast-paced and like an adrenaline rush of a game, this is like the most for me. Like, holy shit, this game is a rush. Yeah, it's really amazing. It kind of like refines like the kind of first-person shooter combat, in my opinion. It felt like Halo meets Metroid. I felt like there was no unnecessary like zooming in and like, oh, careful shooting. Like it's literally just blowing people apart. Like absolutely just fun for fun's sake. So that's why that's my number 5 pick. I would literally give, are we rating these? Just like quick rating?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I would give Doom Eternal a 9.5, honestly, and not a
That's really
perfect
good.
game. Yeah, I would give it not a perfect only because I think that maybe it's not for everyone. It's like, but in its niche, like it pretty much accomplishes everything a shooter should, maybe aside from some tactical things. So like if you like tactical stuff, you're not going to enjoy this because it is like only fast paced. But I think that for the most part, everyone would enjoy this if they like first person shooters. So
I mean, it really
9.5.
is like the godfather of first
It
person
is too.
shooters
Yeah.
anyway. So
And having played Doom 64 as well this year, which kind of should have been in my top 10 at least for the year, but because I haven't played that in a while, it's really just like an enhanced version, like ultra on steroids enhanced. Like Doom stays very true to itself, truly still is like that same Godfather gameplay. Like if you like the old Dooms, you will still like the new Dooms for sure. Also, I think if you like Halo or Metroid, you'll really like this too, just because it kind of like feels like a lot like that. You could say this with Samus and make it an M-rated Metroid game, and I would have believed it. I would have been like, oh yeah, dude, this is fucking raw. Just put like some screw attacks in there and shit. Like I would have
I
believed
want
that.
that so bad
I
now.
want that so
That'd be-
bad.
Oh my
that'd
god.
be really fucking rad.
I would
honestly.
love that if Metroid Prime 4 was like took so long because it was like, yeah. Anyway,
Just
but
hardcore and oh god, that'd be amazing.
Sam is blowing holes in Space Pirates. Like,
Yeah.
I would
Well,
love that.
Nintendo would never do it because it's not their aesthetic.
Yeah,
but oh
that's
my
the thing.
god.
Yeah, it's really amazing. But yeah, my only other kind of negative on Doom Eternal, and it's just like a very small one, is that it is so over the top gory that sometimes it almost feels cartoonish because it's just so ridiculous.
They do that on purpose. I
They
actually
do that on purpose, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched an interview with one of the lead designers on that, and they made it cartoony so that it wasn't disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they could have gone that route where you are doing all this mayhem and you're like, oh fuck, this
You're
makes me
like,
feel
"Ah,
sick. But they
yeah.
make it so cartoon, like they so intense and unrealistically like
Yeah.
insane that you're okay with it because it
You're
doesn't
okay.
like it doesn't hit that part of your brain that's like, oh, this is something that I
Yeah.
just did to this person.
You also
know.
never really kill a human, like, but like once or twice maybe, but like it's pretty fine to be destroying demons, I think. So that's the other thing. You like feel
I
like a
think we
good
can all
guy.
get on board with
Yeah,
that.
we can all get on
It's-
board with
it's-
ripping demons in half. Like, so
Yeah.
your guy
Yeah,
just
it's-
feels like a god. Like you feel awesome. Like so many cool parts of being this hero, and like, yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He rips demons literally in half with his hands. So
Excellent.
it's
I
awesome.
mean, it follows the Comics Code Authority.
Yeah,
There you
like,
go. There you go.
just like
Can't,
punch a
can't
guy
kill,
through the head.
can't kill humans, but you can kill the hell out of
Exactly. If they switch this to humans, this would be like an X-rated game. I wouldn't even think people could bearably. It would be
Ugh.
unbearable if you were just like, "Hey, buddy," and just like rip this guy's head off and be like,
Ugh.
"Ah,
Ugh.
stop,
Nope.
old man Jenkins." I don't know why I was an old man, but
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so that's your
But
number
Avatar
5.
Yeah, very solid. It is a buy. $65 game after tax, I think. So definitely buy it, or $60
Beautiful.
on Steam. Yeah.
Carlino, what is your number
right.
5, my guy?
My number 5 is, and this is a game I've actually played before, but they came out with a massive update this year,
He's
and
a
it's
pony.
kind of sadly the final update as well,
Mhm.
Terraria.
Oh,
that's
is
kind of a
that's right,
bittersweet-
final update.
You what now?
I said, oh, that's right. It is the final update. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, well, actually, it's funny they said that. They actually were like, well, one more update, which is a mod loader basically built into it.
That's
which
really
means
cool.
Infinite. Well, yeah, infinite. Like now, gameplay
wow.
is now accessible, so people
They're
can
a hat and timing it, basically.
exactly. Yeah, they're gonna basically have a Steam mod. They already have mods that you can do through a third-party app, but now it's be integrated into Steam, so it's way easier to subscribe to mods.
Oh my god, you're
And
never
to be
gonna
able to build
stop.
mods.
Fantastic.
That's cool.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But this was like basically like core concept or core like canon update basically. So for all purposes, this was the final update to the game, and it was just really cool because it was just kind of fun to replay the game all over again with my friends. It's such a great little game because it starts so simple. And you're literally just like barely surviving, and like zombies come at night to kill you, and you have to build a house quickly or you will die.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you become almost godlike.
Mhm.
In fact, that's part of the lore of the game is that like you find out that you're actually the bad guy in the game.
What?
My
Is that
God.
part of the? Do you only find that on the new update?
I think so. I think that's like
Oh,
kind of
that's
what
so
the
cool.
lore drop was that basically you were the ultimate like bad guy because you know killing the final boss,
Everybody.
you know,
Oh my
which
god,
is
the Moon King?
Cthulhu.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Cthulhu.
Moon Lord. It's
What?
Cthulhu though. I mean, like that's basically what it is.
That's
It's Moon
badass.
Lord, but come on, it's
Come
Cthulhu.
on, it's Cthulhu. Yeah.
So anyway, it's just an interesting game because like on the surface, which is so funny because you dig in this game a lot. It seems really simple and kind of dumb, but it has so many levels to it. I mean, figuratively and literally, where you can literally dig down into this game and get into the real gameplay of it, and start to see that your gameplay style and choice kind of progresses and changes as you take on new abilities, basically. And the progression system is really creative as well. It's really based mostly upon, not completely though, on what kind of armor you're wearing. Although you can also permanently upgrade your health regardless of what kind of armor you're wearing. But it gives you also the ability for classes as well. So you can be like a healing. Well, I don't know. Healing's only a mod. Sorry. You can be like a sorcerer class or like a melee class, archery, that kind of thing, or just like a gun, and like a ranged class. And so like, I remember
like D&D
first
a
getting
little
this
bit.
game years ago on the Xbox 360 as a free like Xbox Gold thing, and the game's only $10. It's always only been $10, and it's for literally everything. Like you can get it on your phone, I think even. I got it on my iPhone. I don't know about Android, but it works on everything. So anyway, it's just a lot of fun because it's drop in, drop out kind of multiplayer. And if it seems like one of those games you might enjoy, I definitely recommend picking it up. Even if not, like $10, what do you have to lose? So that's a fun little game to. Yeah, it really is. Like for what you're getting, it's pretty incredible, actually.
You actually gave
and
it to
the developers. Yeah, and I've given it to a lot of people actually over the years as a gift because I just really like sharing this experience with people. It's always been like a fun game to be like, hey, let's drop in, drop out, time.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't played as much of that as I did Starbound, but like they're basically essentially the same game, and there's like unlimited things you can do. Like I've lost entire weekends like accidentally playing Starbound.
Yeah.
Not even realizing how much time I'm putting into it. And
yeah, and
you
that's
could do the same thing
fun
with
of it.
Terraria.
Exactly. So that's just kind of a neat game that they created that kind of came out of left field for me, especially because I thought I would hate it, and then to see what all you can become and what all you can do with the game was pretty cool to me. And I think a lot of games sometimes lack some of the key features this game has, with the drop in, drop out, and the way it's so simple to do that as well, and the way you can line up with teams and everything, and the way you can play your own way, almost immediately. So it's just like it's both simple and complex in its own right, and I think it'll always be pretty much a top tier game for everyone whoever plays it. Like it has ridiculously good reviews on Steam. I think it always kind of will have, and I think it'll hold its value even for years to come because it's simple graphics. It's 2D. People call it 2D Minecraft, but like that's just not doing any service at all.
Yeah. Do you have like a overall number that you would grade it at?
I'd say 10 out of 10. I love this game. It's one of my favorites.
Perfect 10
out of 10.
Yeah,
dude.
And it would be higher the list if it came out like just now. Like it'd be like, wow, that's incredible. This game just came out. I can't believe it. But like I've played it so many times, so like
I think a lot
of rank 5 doesn't mean it's actually
it's still
a rank 5 kind of game. Yeah. So
I think a lot of creators are kind of learning that graphic style and like to do more quirky or artistic stylized graphics is like a huge boon for their like replayability. Just for like, this will look good still in 20 years because I made it look like an original type of video game. Like, everyone looking like a real human, like all these PS4 graphics and shit. And I'm like, that'll look like shit and soon. Like,
like Onimusha 2 looks good for its time, but now it's starting to age a little bit. I mean, like even though it's pre-rendered and has some nice visual effects, still it's still like.
There's a couple scenes in that game that look so incredible, like with the water. Like in particular, the water looks better than any PlayStation 2 game you've ever seen. And that's because it's all pre-rendered.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, very cool. I think that brings us to Zach. What is your number 5 game of the year that you played this year?
Number 5 on my list is Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which of course is a remake of 3 games that I've played, I've loved since I was a kid. And this is the first time that I've been in the driver's seat for any of them. When I was a kid, my buddy Nathan was the one who had all the consoles. His parents were both like artists and had enough money to afford, because they played as well, to afford the consoles that we all wanted, but we would just congregate at Nathan's and ultimately end up watching him play, because I got to be honest, he was a little bit selfish. And so I remember, helping him think through Super Mario 64, which is so far the only one I've played. I ran out of time and kind of stopped halfway through, at least on Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yeah, it is. So Sunshine came out a little bit later in high school. I did play a little bit of that, but we were on to other stuff at that point. We were playing Mega Man Network Transmission and a lot of Mario Kart Double Dash. And
Double Dash my life.
Dude, I love Double Dash so much. Honestly,
like
let's get a remake of that.
I was about to say that a remake of Double Dash would be better than a Mario Kart 9, I think.
Absolutely. Let's have it, Nintendo.
Yes.
Anyway, and then in college, when Galaxy came out, I played with my buddy Scott. I was the second player, just collecting all the star bits.
Oh,
so
goddamn.
I do remember quite a lot of that, and it's a more recent memory to me. And I also recently watched Game Grumps play it, so I'm like, okay, fine, that's low priority, but I've seen it on the Switch, and it's going to be great no matter how you cut it. So I'm really judging Super Mario 3D All-Stars on pretty much exclusively Mario 64, because it was the one I had the least experience, or least recent experience with, and I am having a ball with it. I watched, Josh, I watched you play a little bit of it on stream.
Yeah.
And that's honestly what sold me on picking up Super Mario 3D All-Stars.
It's so good.
It's amazing. I got to give it, it's a remake, so I don't really know how to put a number on it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the experience that I had playing it, my experience was a 10 out of 10.
That's
I enjoyed the crap out of it. It was great.
I like that we're being consistent with high numbers.
Yeah.
It's our top 5. Like,
yeah,
shouldn't
that's true. It is our top 5.
Pretty much 10 out of 10 for us this year. But yeah, no, it's terrific. I am very much looking forward to more of that over the course of the next year. And it's great that I can just kind of pick it up and put it down, pick it up, put it down while I'm in between other games. I'm always looking for a game that I can play in between experiences. And so I finished, I don't even remember what I finished before. Oh, Donkey Kong. I was playing Donkey Kong, the original SNES Donkey Kong. On Donkey Kong Country. There it is.
So good.
And I was like, oh, okay. Donkey Kong Country 2's not out on the Switch download play right now. I'm just going to grab Mario 3D All-Stars, pick it up for a while. And then Donkey Kong Country 2 came out, so I started playing that. And then honestly, I haven't picked up my Switch in a while.
FYI, 3 came out yesterday. So
I got to get my act together then.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Yep.
So good. So yeah, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is my number 5 this year.
Nice. Yeah. That brings it to me. My number 5. I'm going to try and keep this short because we're going kind of long, and at this rate, we're going to be here till fucking midnight.
Yeah.
So I'll keep it a little shorter. Remnant from the Ashes, I think, was a freaking incredible game. I think it came out last year, but I didn't play it until this year. It's basically it's a Souls-like, but with guns. And you can play it up to 3 players co-op, and it's a fucking blast. Like, every moment of that game is super fun. And the levels are all procedurally generated as well. And so, like, even though maybe I've been to this certain area before, I've never played that exact same copy of that level. So it's not like I know where everything is. So anytime you play through the game, it's kind of a little bit of a new experience. And yet, like, there's still consistency. Like, there's always the same boss, or like, I think there's sometimes there's like a chance that you'll fight a different boss. But like, for the most part, like, everything's consistent throughout your playthroughs, and you can just go back and loot and do your thing infinitely with your friends, and it's so much freaking fun. Amazing. Highly recommend it. There's some DLC out that I have not had a chance to play yet, which I definitely need to crack into when I have time. But I played through that with Merc Tool and Shmali, and dude, I could not, like, if you want a good, like, co-op, just go in and like cause havoc and you know, tear shit up, destroy things. It's kind of set in like a like it's like futuristic and yet also primitive at the same time. Like it's really hard to explain. It's not steampunk, but it's kind of hard to explain, but very fantasy setting, but with guns, you know. Just very good. I would say
badass.
solid 9 on that game for
Nice.
sure. Would recommend.
yes.
And that is my number 5.
Nice. Wait, so how's this one working? We're passing now? Oh no, it's Mega Man now. Never mind.
Yeah. So Colin's number 4 is the same as a later entry for Josh. So we're going to skip over Colin's number 4 and go right to mine. Anybody who watches my stuff over on the Another Letdown channel knows that there are 2 game series that I am absolutely obsessed with and will always love, and that is Mega Man Zero and Gears of War. All my theming for my 2 biggest video game shows, courtesy of Colin and Adam, is Mega Man and Gears mashed up
like that.
Yeah, I can't wait to like the new animations that Adam and I have been talking about are so exciting, and it involves a little spoiler. It involves Mega Man version of Marcus Phoenix.
Ooh.
It's going to look really, really cool. I can't wait to see what Adam puts together. But so my number 4, I was so excited when I heard that this was coming out. They released all 4 Mega Man Zero games in one collection with save points, and they added the 2 ZX games, which are garbage. Don't play them.
I don't think they're garbage.
They're not good.
They're not as good. They're not as good as the Z games. But
that's true.
They're not garbage. They're still fun romps.
Yes, they are. But I got to the final boss and I was like, I don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just stopped playing. But I adore Mega Man Zero, and any opportunity to play it on a bigger screen. I mean, I was playing it actually just before it came out. I used my cartridge and my Retron to play it on stream, and play it on the big TV. Felt super cool when you're a sprite that's usually the size of your thumbnail is like 4 inches tall. That's amazing. And being able to play it on the Switch, a little bit more portable. The graphics got a nice.
God, I love the Switch. Can I just say that?
Most of the games that I picked for this top 5 are on the Switch.
It's such a good console.
I love it.
It's one of the most amazing consoles ever made, I think, at this point.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, best investment I've made in the last probably 3 years.
You get like 1,000 games for like basically the price of the console.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the price point on the Zero collection was super affordable. I've bought every version that's come out. So I have all 4 original Game Boy Advance cartridges. I have the DS version, which was a little weird at best. And then I bought it again on Switch. And I'm totally willing to continue that as long as they keep making state-of-the-art updates. It does look nicer. It handles better. Like I said, they added the save points, which is really, really convenient if you're just doing a casual run through. I've gotten
especially because those games are super hard.
They're really hard. Any Mega Man game is really hard, but if you're just doing a casual playthrough and you just want to get through the plot and experience it all over again, adding the save points is a great way to do that. And they don't add so many of them that it takes away from the challenge. Like, it's still a very challenging game. So I put it at number 4. It's
so good.
Mega Man Zero
solid.
Always.
The Mega Man Zero series is my favorite, and I'm with you. Mega Man Zero 2 in particular is my favorite Mega Man game ever. Maybe kind of, I don't know. Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy is right there too, because that game's goddamn amazing.
The original Mega Man 2 for NES is also very, very good.
But dude, Mega Man Zero 2 is one of my all-time favorite games. Period.
So good. So
wait, what's the grand total here if we had to rate it?
11.
Damn.
This one goes to 11.
Shatters the scale.
Even with the poopy add-ons that you don't like.
But this one goes to 11.
ZX games, like, again, it's just
not
more,
for you.
and it's just fine. The plot's kind of dumb, and
you're already getting your money's worth basically with this.
Exactly. You get your money's worth on Z1 through 4, and then ZX is just like cool, great. And but the one thing about ZX is you do get to play as the 4 big bosses from 0-1
and that's
2.
what's awesome about those games.
And that's what's awesome about those.
That is
flying around as Harpooya is like, yes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So yeah, there is a little bit of added value added.
Very cool. All right, that brings it back to me for my number 4.
I got skipped. but it's okay.
No, you did not get skipped.
didn't.
You're next. We
just
remember
bouncing.
we have a rotation, so the whoever
Okay.
went first drops to the bottom. So
Oh.
you're next.
Going.
You're next. But Streets of Rage 4 came out
yes.
this year. Just a total like breathing life back into a series that we all assumed was dead.
Hadn't heard about it in
and
over 10 years.
and it's done perfectly. Like I couldn't imagine a better way to bring this series back than how they did Streets of Rage 4. It's incredible. It's super fun. It's co-op. The graphics are gorgeous.
Free, isn't it?
It's not free. I think
No.
maybe it's on Game Pass, in which case if you
but
have
yeah.
Game Pass, it's free for
Okay,
you.
that's what it is.
But it's incredible. You can unlock almost every character from every Streets of Rage game ever, essentially.
That's so good.
I think with the exception of maybe a couple. My one qualm with it is like the unlockable characters, they're literally like the characters from the original game. So they're the sprites. So you play as the sprite instead of like the new art style with these
I see.
characters, and you also don't get the additional abilities. It's still really awesome that they're there, and it's cool that you can play as them. I would like them to update it with some updated versions of some of those older characters.
Like an Echo Fighter Melee. It's just like
Sure, yeah, but it's it's still an amazing game. Again, I would put this at a 9 or a 9.5. It's really, really just, if you're a fan of brawlers in general, like the old, Ninja Turtles games, things like that, like this is right up your alley.
Yes.
As soon as I
That's
saw
my
that one,
number 4.
like, and now my heart's hurting because the last convention I was at was PAX East almost a year ago, and when I saw that, I think I texted you almost immediately, Paul. I was just like, "Look at this!"
Yes.
I'm so glad it stood up.
I do want to play that now.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Uh,
All right,
All right.
you're up, and
turn.
Colin's throwing fucking pots again.
Colin, stop breaking things.
Josh is up. Josh,
All right.
what's your
That wasn't
number
me this
4?
time. That
I was
just
actually
wasn't
on
me this
my
time.
side, I think. Something happened. Lauren, you okay?
Okay.
I thought it was Colin.
Like,
She's okay.
All right.
So my number 4 pick
She's
is
dead.
Paper Mario: The Origami King, and it actually like warms my heart to like say that I love this game, and it still is very important to me that this game was good. So overall, I'll go with the negative first. I'll try and be quick here. The RPG system got tweaked. If you played this game, you understand this. If you've seen any gameplay, it got tweaked hard. It's honestly not a true negative. It's not like this game is now bad because they changed the combat. You just have to accept that the combat is now something different. To me, it stayed more or less fresh. I know Chamali was like, I mastered all the puzzles and whatnot, but to me, they were still like got more difficult. Maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but like, especially with the bosses, I did learn to love the more intricate puzzles of the combat system. And I thought it kept it fresh up until the final boss, which was incredible. I thought the finale was truly amazing. That's my only slight negative. Other than that, it stayed so true to Paper Mario form. Literally felt incredible. Other than the characters feeling sometimes slightly shallow and feeling like I had to 100% and get all the toads and whatnot in order to fill the world, like it felt very Rogue Porty. It felt very like full, and it felt like every line of dialogue added something that I cared about to the game. So I wanted to 100% and get all the toads and whatnot. Really love this game. I do recommend it. I will say it did revive the series in my mind. I think that now they know what people like for sure in this generation. Going forward, the next Paper Mario will probably correct it even further. I am confident Nintendo will now make more good Paper Mario games. I was so worried. We all took our
you
prediction.
never doubted it, right?
Dude,
I never doubted it.
I think
Why?
like our most heated argument that we've ever had on the podcast or around the podcast was because of
was whether this was
Mario.
going to be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Paul was like, give it a
Paul's gonna be
chance.
bad, but we were
Yeah.
like, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, we were like, it's gonna be great. Ha, Paul, you lost.
I was so wrong.
Yeah,
He
Paul,
looks so dumb now. Man.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I will note that there's a couple of Switch cartridge box shaped packages under the tree downstairs.
Oh, I was just telling Lauren, I was like,
Origami King's one of them.
I was telling Lauren, I can always tell when there's a game under the tree because it's just like it was the game. Like,
Yeah.
Well, my father-in-law is usually the one who gets me games, and he's starting to get wise to that. Like he'll put them in like a
a
A
bigger
beer box or something like
yeah.
that, just to make it look a little bigger.
Yeah, like a stack of something. That's like when
Yeah.
Brian opens the wine bottle and it's a book. Like on Family
Yeah.
Guy. He's like, oh, I know what
Like,
this
wow.
is. Overall, though, I was very pleasantly surprised with this game. It literally came out right before my birthday. It was like such an amazing experience for me. Aside from minor frustrations about the combat not being exactly the same, I did learn to accommodate. And like, there were a lot of amazing story pieces and a lot of great comedy and like amazing writing. And overall, the characters felt great and amazing ending and all that and all that and all that. Overall, I would give this game a 9.6 now that I've reflected. I think I gave it a 9.8 upon launch. I would give it a 9.6, maybe 9.5 based on the combat, but a buy 100%. Like, yes, definitely hope you get it for Christmas, or, if you don't, buy it. I think this game is still $60 and it's 60 flat, I think, on the Switch store. So like, I would highly recommend getting this game. Yeah, definitely a gem in the Mario franchise for me.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very cool. That brings us to where are we?
Where are we now?
We're on my number 3.
We're on
we're number
we're
3
on
already.
Zach's number
Yeah,
3.
we're already into number 3 because
Yeah.
Colin is sharing, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you and Colino had the same one. For your number 4 is his number 3. So
Yes.
we'll combine those. So yeah, so we're on number 3 with Zach. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I got to give a big shout out to Chamali for giving me Hollow Knight as a Christmas gift last year.
Oh, nice.
I
Gift.
had very tangentially heard about this game. I knew it was beautiful. I had seen it like out of the peripheral vision in my PAX East wanderings, but I'm always working so hard at PAX East that I don't really get time to go to a booth and actually try something out. So I was like, oh, that's pretty. Got to keep moving. And I had heard people say, like, oh yeah, this is a beautiful game. It's really pretty. It's really fun. It's really hard. It's, platformer. You're going to really dig it. And I kept forgetting what it was called, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, it's this game with
Shovel Knight.
bugs and yeah. Right. Yes. Several times.
Shovel Knight, I thought the first time I did it. Yeah.
And so Chamali gave it to me as a Christmas gift. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is exactly the game I've been looking for. It's great. I had just finished my Mega Man Zero stream through and I was looking for a new challenge. So I fired it up and I started playing it. I got 3 or 4 streams in. I'm like, I can't properly enjoy this playing it on stream.
It's one of those games.
I have to play this for myself. First of all, it's very difficult, Mega Man level difficult.
Cuphead level difficult.
At some points, yeah, Cuphead level difficult. And I was like, I am definitely feeling the frustration, but also I'm super relaxed because the art is beautiful, the music is beautiful. Like, it's the strangest game experience I've had in a very long time. It is gorgeous, absolutely amazingly fun to play. I can't say anything negative about it other than the fact that it is very difficult to stream because RPD234 chat is sometimes in the chat. He describes what I suffer, and Paul, I think he's said this to you too, as camera brain.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes when you're on camera, you have a tendency, or I have a tendency, to do something monumentally stupid that when you're off camera you would not do.
Streamer's curse, Colin calls it.
Yeah. And I was making mistakes right and left. I was wandering around aimlessly, just trying to carry on a conversation with chat.
Right.
And I was like, I am not making actually any progress with this game. I'm just really enjoying this beautiful, beautiful environment and character design and all that stuff. So Hollow Knight, as a game that I play on my own, again, approaching 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like 9.7, 9.8.
Nice.
As a game to be streamed, a little bit lower, like 8.5.
Yeah,
but still utterly amazing.
I can totally relate to you on that. Like, I prefer to stream games with some exceptions that I've played many times before, only because when I'm playing, I have a tendency to ignore important details of the game because I'm looking at chat and I'm, you know, this and that. So like, I'll skip through tutorials, I'll miss, cutscenes and things like that. It makes it real difficult to follow a game that I'm not really familiar with sometimes. So I could totally relate to that feeling.
That actually might be a good topic to cover in an episode up front.
Yeah, we can do that. That brings me to my number 3. My number 3 is Trials of Mana.
I still need to play this.
Okay, so
It's so good.
let's have a real quick story time about Trials of Mana. This game is the 3rd installment of the Secret of Mana series. Okay, the original being Final Fantasy Legend or Adventure. I think Adventure. Final Fantasy Adventure.
Saga? Adventure.
Which in Japanese is Final Fantasy no Seiken Densetsu or something like that.
That's right.
Actually, that sounded almost exactly right.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Then the next game being what we got, which is Seiken Densetsu 2, is Secret of Mana. Seiken Densetsu 3 never came out in the United States. The only way to play this game was through an emulator. If you had an English patch, there was a pretty decent translation out there for a while that you could play. And I played a little of it when I was younger, but I never finished it. And then out of some miracle, not only did they release the Secret of Mana trilogy in their regular form with the first ever English translation in a combo that you can get on. I think it's on... Actually,
It's
I
on
think...
Steam. It is. Yeah.
Is it on Steam? Okay.
It's on Steam, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
This one I saw on Steam.
Very cool. But then they also completely remade Trials of Mana in 3D. And it is so much fun. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It like not only did it like live up to like my nostalgia of the game, but it exceeded that with some of the features that it added, you know, just even being able to move around the areas in 3D like gave it a totally new feel. The combat's a lot smoother than it was in the original. And it's just a freaking blasty of a game. The other cool thing about this game is you have, I think, 6 different characters that you can pick from. 3 are your permanent characters, and you can essentially replay the game and have like a totally different story.
Yes.
You know, in the same game, you know,
Yeah.
with different characters and play as different characters. So it's very replayable as well. I believe it also has New Game Plus.
Nice.
It's
Okay,
just,
that's-
goddamn, it's such a good game. This I would have to say, Trials of Mana, for me, is I wouldn't say it's a 10. There are some issues I would say with the 3D version, but it's still phenomenal. I would give it like probably like a 9.8.
That's pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, it's
Solid.
so good. And if you're a fan of RPGs, action RPGs in particular, with like an anime kind of feel to them, dude, this is it. It's so good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I'm buying that.
Yep, it'd be foolish not to. So that's my number 3, and then number 3 for Colin is also Josh's number 4. So I'll let you guys go ahead and talk.
Or maybe the
about
other way around. I can't remember. I think my number
At the
4 is
same
Oregon.
time.
Either way. Yeah, so same time now. We like this game.
We
Now,
like.
you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You want to go first? All right, yeah. Yeah, I'll go first. This
I'll go
game is kind of. I saw someone else. I think Adam or Josh play it, and I thought that game looks kind of fun, but like sometimes you see a game, you think, it looks okay, and then you play it, and you're like, wow, I get it. It clicks. You know, what the game expects of you for the strategy to beat it, basically. You know, the
I think it
proper
was
strategy
me that you
involved.
saw playing that game, and I've got
It might have
proof.
been you. You know what? You're right. It
I've
might
got
have been you,
proof.
actually.
It's in my
Good
BRB
point.
screen.
It probably
Colin
was Zach.
names everybody other than
Yeah.
I bet it was Zach. Yeah, I watched him play it. So thanks, Zach. But yeah, this game it's pretty special because I think I beat it in actually one stream, like one sitting actually. And I don't know, it was just something really neat because the story was really compelling. So it kept me kind of just wondering what it was. The gameplay fit beautifully with the story as well in terms of how it could explain like why you could die so many times because you were on this experimental drug, I guess, that could basically let you.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt again,
Yeah,
but
like-
did you say the title of the game?
Katana Zero.
Katana
Oops.
Zero.
Available on Steam, and I'm not sure what else.
I don't know actually, but yeah, it seems like a simple game on the surface. Like it seems like those games that could like appeared on like the SNES. Obviously, it couldn't have, but like it seems like that, and then you play it, and it's a lot of fun. There's been other games that use like time manipulation, and there's some pretty cool, but this one was neat. This one was definitely its own unique flavor of time manipulation along with strategy. It reminded me a lot of Hotline Miami actually. Just fast paced, no mistakes, all speed run, all
perfect execution.
You know, like you can't, which I love that. Like Rayman Origins and Legends really has that ability. You don't have to do it that, but like some of those levels, you just got to be just about perfect, and that's a lot of fun for someone who doesn't like to speed run necessarily, but likes to feel competent in a game where like you just get the perfect run, you know, the perfect moment, you know, and the perfect strategy that you've rehearsed and you're working on instinct at this point, and the game just takes you to that point. By the end of it, you're basically fighting for your life, and yet you somehow win and come out victorious. So
it even shows you a replay of play, and it's like, fuck. yeah. So I don't know. It just it was a really cool game, and I'm glad I played it, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't usually always love playing single player games. I usually play games for the experience with my friends.
Me too.
But which is probably why it didn't get quite in my top like number 1 slot, I'm guessing, because I love single player games, and like I love them for their own thing, but I have to be in that kind of mood basically to play through that, and I'm usually doing it my own time by myself, you know, where other multiplayer games I might be more compelled to, you know, want to play with the experience of my friends, you know, and the moments you have, the big moments you have with your friends.
He just got out.
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Wow. His amazing 500-acre internet, everyone. Just continue with the review.
Yeah. Go ahead and finish it off.
I hope he's not done.
Because this is your number 3 anyway. I had it back. You're right. I did have it backwards. It was Colin's number 4. Your number 3.
I'll take over now. Yeah, so I gotta agree with Colin. It's a very special game. It is like Doom status hardcore on a platformer level. It's really, really just like no holds bars. I'm taking over, Colin. I see that you're back now.
Oh no, I cut out.
I know you cut out. Do you want me to take over? Or did you have more to say?
Yeah, go ahead and take over.
You wrap it up for us.
But like he was saying, so to me, it feels like this game doesn't apologize for anything. This game is absolutely like what it is. It is brutal. It is like fast paced. It doesn't like ask for forgiveness. It expects so much of the player, and that's the kind of game I love. It's like really like kind of Cupheady. I like to refer to things as like Cuphead in a way when they're like truly like by the inch of survival, and like like that replay at the end of each level where it shows you exactly how you did it. That's just so amazing. This game, kind of like we were saying with the cinematics, like it kind of uses like cutscenes into the gameplay, which seems really amazing. And this is probably one of the most, if not the most vulgar games I've ever played. So like this game is very real life, not in like that things that happen are real, but like the characters are very unapologetic. Oh, your cat. We got cat cam, everybody. The characters don't give a shit. Like the story is what it is. And like you said, it is just so compelling the whole way through and makes you keep thinking what is going to happen down to the last moment of the game, which is just like a holy shit moment. Like the whole way through is holy shit moments up until like, wow, I didn't think this at all. Like truly an amazing game all the way through. I personally would give this game a 10, actually. If the caveat that I'm not giving it any lower because I don't think the games should bend for people. I don't think that games should like reduce their intensity for people. It is very hard, and this game is not for everyone if you don't like A, vulgar games, or B, extraordinarily difficult games. Like literally Cuphead expert status. It's a very short game, and I want to say it didn't even cost me $10, like $10 or $15. So I would give it a 10, barring that you're into this kind of hardness. But otherwise, you know, other people might give it less. But I would, as your cat breaking your whole set,
Yes.
I would definitely give this game a must play. It is truly extraordinary. And yeah, the temporal thing is just so crazy because it like mind fucks the shit out of you. Yeah, super amazing game. Very fluid, amazing. And again, one of those graphic styles that will hold up. I could play this game in 20 years and be like, yeah, that was just the same experience I got 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible story too.
Incredible. Like truly for
an sequel's coming out.
Yes. Can't wait. Can't wait because it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a The ending is mind blowing, and it's impossible to explain to someone basically unless you actually play the game.
Yeah.
It's one of those games like if you watch it, you're like, "What's the big deal?" But then when you play it, you understand everything that goes into this game. Like,
There's also an optional boss too. There's like an alternate boss.
There's a
you can
secret
fight.
boss.
Wow.
I didn't get to do that, but
Yeah.
I did see that. So
I think I would need to wait for number
That's
2 now. It's one of those games that takes a lot out of you to play. So like
Mhm.
I think replaying it right now, since I played it this year, I might not want to do that. Not that it's not a 10. In my opinion, it is a 10 perfect game, but I think I would rather play the sequel and then maybe replay the first one after. Yeah, must buy, I would say, if you're into platformers or just want a challenge in gaming. Truly a must buy.
Absolutely.
I wish it was on the Switch, but I think it's a little too hardcore for the Switch, honestly.
My damn cat's back. Colin, that brings us to your number 3.
God damn it, is he alive?
Did we lose him again?
okay, which is Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes. Yes.
Shadow-
Okay,
Yeah.
God damn this cat. Sorry.
okay.
Cats are
Shadow of the
difficult.
Colossus is the game I
Playing
played
on my
this year. I'd put off this game for so long. I knew I'd enjoy it, and I kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And I'm kind of glad I did because they came out with a remake for the PS4, and that really helped, I think, smooth out a lot of the controls. Although the controls, we'll get into later, are not always great. But
They're a
the
battle.
game is,
The controls are a battle.
That might be an age
yeah.
thing.
I don't know. I'm not. We'll talk about it in a second. Anyway, the game was incredible though. Like, I mean, it was everything I wanted out of it and more. A little less in some areas as well. Like I said, the controls. But the game was, I mean, it was top notch. It was really fun. I mean, like, you could not overhype this game, in my opinion, in
That's
terms of scope. And honestly, it was a PS2 game, I believe, when it first came out. Which is
Originally, yeah. Mhm.
mind-boggling
Yeah.
that they were this
Insane.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were this ambitious
sure.
with a game like this. Like, I mean, this is like I don't know, like Skyward Sword level, like open
But on
world.
the
Not even
PS2,
like
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, like it's just
Twilight Princess.
incredible game for the PS2. Like I kind of want to play or at least like check out the PS2 version just to see the difference. Obviously, it won't be nearly as good in terms of quality, but like
Mhm.
I'm sure it still holds up in some respects.
Dude, it
like,
honestly, like, even though they redid the graphics like incredibly for the PS4 version, if you look at the PS2 or even like the PS3 remaster of it, like the graphics, even though they definitely look dated, they still look great. Like
yeah.
they still hold up really well for a game of that age.
And the physics-based engine. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just you see that now in like newer games just
Mhm.
now coming out. You know, like thinking of a game like Breath of the Wild has like those physics-based
Yeah,
kind of
it
engine. You know, like it's almost like Breath of the Wild before
Mhm.
years before Breath of the Wild ever even was like conceived.
Yeah,
You know?
the
Which is-
climbing system in Breath of the Wild is almost directly ripped out of that game.
Yeah, it seems like that. It really, and honestly, yeah. So it's just anyway, I just couldn't get over like how each of the bosses really led up to their name of the Colossi. You know, like I mean, they're just towering, hulking figures, and the story was beautifully woven into it as well, and it kept you going. And I took like 2 or 3 days to beat it, just kind of casual. I think it took me like maybe around 12 hours. I think. There
Mhm.
were some parts, though, I'll be honest, that kind of frustrated me. I was kind of like, I'm just kind of done, you know,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
I don't want to play this anymore. I'd walk away for a while and just kind of like be done with it for the day because I was fighting the controls, and I don't know if that was me or if it was intended or just bad controls. You know,
Mhm.
like I know you say it's intended. It shouldn't be easy
I
to
think
climb
it's
across.
I think it's intended. You're
But like,
supposed to
I
feel like
really
you're
glitch up and down though. Like my
Yeah.
character would literally like he'd grab on, it'd show he grabbed on, and all of a sudden he'd be letting go and he'd grab on again. It's like that can't be intended. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I get what you're saying. Like I think sometimes it was like that's fair. You know what? Sometimes I just need to get thrown off and like fall, but like other times it wasn't always obvious what I needed to be doing,
Mhm.
and that was a little frustrating to me because I feel like it felt like it was obvious what I needed to be doing, but then it wouldn't be like you grab onto their like hair, you know,
Right.
climb them up basically, and it wasn't always, you know, apparent what I need to be doing. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty great game though. I mean, it's up there with like a Zelda game, like
Yeah.
any of the
That's
Zelda games.
incredible to say.
Dude,
Hey,
Scott,
and that's
you need to play
another
this game, man.
game. It's another
must play.
game that you're the bad guy. And you don't find that out until
Yeah.
the very end. Like the
Right.
very end. And you're like, oh my God.
Josh hasn't
What
played it
have
yet.
I done?
Yeah.
Play it, you motherfucker.
Dude,
I know,
this
right?
game's
I'm just like, hey.
Almost 20 years old, man.
Well,
Like, sorry.
No. You're the bad guy, Josh.
So long. No, I don't mind.
Forget. What's your overall rating for it, Colin?
I'd say probably 9 out of 10. It's almost there. The controls just kind of frustrate me sometimes, and like some parts I was a little lost and confused, and I felt like a little bit of direction would have been nice, or I don't know. And again, that could have just been part of the charm of the game, you know, that I just don't appreciate personally for some games, you know.
Like when it
I
came
That balance between direction and holding your hand, you know, where is that fine line? And I felt like it was a little bit difficult sometimes. So
I can relate to
exactly
that. I can respect that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
I just felt like maybe a little bit more. Here's what you need to do, you know. And okay. Because like I just wanted to get to the next boss fight, and I didn't really care about the surrounding. I wasn't like, oh man. Like it was cool to see everything and see how massive this land was, but it wasn't like I'm not on the PS2 anymore. You know, like we've seen this kind of stuff before. It doesn't really impress me anymore.
Sure.
You know, like at the time it would have, but now it's like,
at the time, it was like much more engaging to explore the landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Although the land was like desolate, like there's something in it, so like that was also kind of disappointing. Although I think it was part of the charm of it. I think that's part of the lore.
I was gonna
so, like,
say I think that's part of what I like about it, but
Again,
yeah, that is a
that's all
design
been holding it
feature
back.
that it's like it could go either way. It could be like either terrible for some people or really awesome for others. Yeah.
Too empty.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, like I had a great experience. Like I only remember the good for the most part, you know. And like when I did win, and when I get those moments of like, aha, it was like this is perfect, and it all comes together. Perfect game, you know. But like I give it a 9 out of 10, you know, with those little flaws here and there, making it knock it down a notch. So.
Yeah, very good.
Josh, you should play it, Josh. Oh man, you'd love it.
Yes.
I think you would love it.
On your PS4 that you sold.
Oops, I did sell it. I just sold it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Nah, I'm better off without. It'll be never on Steam, and I'll never play it.
Well, that brings us to our number 2s.
Oh yes, who's up?
I believe I'm up. And for me, I'm gonna say Neo is my number 2 game I've played this year.
That's a big surprise.
Disclosure, I have played it before. I never finished it. In fact, I didn't even get halfway through when I played it before. And I also didn't really take the time to understand any of like the deeper systems in it. Not even that deep. Like literally I didn't do any of the training. So and doing the training is how you unlock a lot of your skills for certain builds, like your ninja builds and your magic builds and things like that. So it's kind of important if you want to get everything out of the game. And I didn't do that before. And I've been playing through it. I'm almost finished with it. In fact, I'm going to review this next time I do a full review. So I'll just give you the light version right now. But it is Samurai Dark Souls, and it is fucking rad. And every time I play it, it is more and more fun. Like there's something about the game that makes me fall more in love with it. It's just really cool. It's in the setting of the end of the Sengoku period, which is the Warring States period in Japan. And it's all coming to a close, and it's all historical figures that you're playing as, but superimposed into this world where there's demons and yokai and fucking all this crazy shit going on, and it's so good. And you can play it co-op.
I was just gonna ask, it's co-op, right?
It is co-op. It's basically only 2-player co-op, but there is a 3-player co-op mode that you can play once you've beaten the game. That's another cool thing about the game. There's 5 fucking layers of New Game Plus that add like all sorts of stuff to the game, more gear, like just tons of like. I was talking to a guy on my stream the other day who had finished, or he was just finishing his like N+5 run. And he was like currently I'm like level 90-ish in the game. He's level like 715 or something like that.
+5.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's madness.
Like this game's like almost infinitely replayable as well, and it's fucking incredible. So
That's
I'm gonna
terrific.
give this, honestly, I'm gonna give this a 10. That might be my first 10 that
It's a good one.
I've given. So yeah, that's my number 2. And next would be Josh. What's your number 2, homie?
Yes, my number 2 is Mario 35. So, as a Yeah, as a fan of the original, so really quick, what this game is, it's literally Super Mario Bros. On a somewhat randomizer as far as levels are concerned, based on the difficulty you choose. You can do the harder levels or the easier levels. You literally are in a battle royale with 34 other people. So Mario 35 is all the players that are playing. Every bad guy you kill gets sent out to one or more opponents, and you can change your stats on like, I want to send it to the person with the most coins. I want to send it with the person with the least time to like kill them faster, and all these other things that can strategically help you. That's less strategy than honestly like going through the level and meticulously getting coins and all that stuff. And then by the end of it, in the top like 5 or 10 even, you are running and you're level trusting, and you like are a Mario god. Like, it's so amazing. The beginning of the game, you're just like meticulously collecting coins when there's time, to being a god in the top 5 and like winning one of these. Oops, dog knocked my camera. Winning one of these is like one of the best. Like, he's saying, that aha feeling for Shadow of the Colossus is like, oh my god, what an incredible feeling, like defeating other people at Mario. So, but that aside, it literally takes Super Mario Bros. And to me, a game that I played a gagillion times all the way through, enhances it to 11 and gives it competitive play and gives it a reason to replay. And I played level 1-1 so many fucking times playing Mario 35, and never once was like, this is boring or this is annoying. In fact, it's even a saving grace when you're like in the late game and you get randomized into 1-1 and you're like, oh, thank God I can actually kill these guys and like get these coins. Like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have 10 Lacatis on my ass and I know there's a star here. Like, it's so strategically amazing and intricate. I love this game, and the biggest sadness, and this is not going to hurt its score at all, the biggest sadness, aside from it not being couch co-op, and it's kind of debatable whether that's needed or not, is that this game is a limited launch, and I will pay money to have a cartridge or have a download of this game. I will pay the full price. I'm telling you, Nintendo, don't pull it from us. This is one of those mistakes I think that is made every once in a while, but this game is only available until March. Play it, play it, play it. It is free. It is a free game. Not only do you have no issue buying it, but if you're a Mario fan, you should play it. Like, truly an amazing game. I give this a 10 out of 10 because it revamps an already perfect game, in my opinion. Everything else is intact. The controls feel great. It feels like you're playing Super Mario Bros. So, which I already gave a 10 in my mind. I don't know if I reviewed it, I would have given it a 10. But aside from this being a limited launch, which I don't think you should hold against the score, 10 out of 10, play this game. It's fucking nuts. Nintendo revolutionized battle royale systems. Like, I want more of this.
Yeah.
I want more of this, Nintendo. And if you're listening, I will buy it. Please don't take it from us. So that's my number 2. Seriously amazing.
Perfect.
Truly amazing game.
Carlino.
I will throw
go ahead.
one last thought at Mario 35. Josh, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure my friend was playing it the other day while her kid was running amok.
Oh.
And she kept yelling at him and kept playing the game. I'm pretty sure you're the one who ousted her.
What
I thought I saw your name pop up.
Oh god, what did I say?
No, just like you beat her.
Oh really? Well, I wasn't playing the other day.
Well, it was. I say the other day. It was a while ago.
Oh really?
But,
oh my god, it's so funny.
It was. I was laughing my ass off.
Really? That was me?
I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure I saw Lord Yeshua come up.
Oh my god, that is so funny. Yeah, and my name is Lord Yeshua on that, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
that is hilarious if that's the case.
I really hope it is, because it was really fun. Her kid was driving everybody in the store.
Sorry if I did beat you, but God, it was satisfying to win. Yeah, that's like better than any Fortnite win or any Apex win. Like, winning that game is incredible. Truly, truly, truly. Yeah, it's really fun. But I think Nintendo, just to touch on that real quick, Nintendo has region issues where like I'll play Mario Kart online and I'll replay the same people from America, like, and then I'll be like, oh, let me back out and replay, or in Smash especially, and it'll be like the same people. And I'm like, so Nintendo might have some region issues. So it's possible, I'm mostly playing people from America. That's maybe just Nintendo's, like, the way they do their servers. It's not just like one net, it's like certain regions potentially.
Right.
But I'm okay with it.
Very good.
It made me laugh. I had to share that.
Carlino, your number 2. Let's hear it.
2.
Hades. Hades was the game. I reviewed this last week, so I won't really get into it, but it's a fun dungeon crawler, procedurally generated game where you are the son of Hades trying to escape from Hades. And it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool, neat game. I didn't think I'd enjoy it. I don't usually like those kind of games. Think Binding of Isaac type game. And that's what it is. It was pretty fun, though. I really, really enjoyed this game this year. And I got into it because of Adam, actually.
Yeah.
Adam
He's
kept us
like the
raving about it.
number
Fine,
one.
I'll play it, and I'm glad I did. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think you and actually all three of you guys should play it.
It's in my
honestly.
cart right
I'm
now.
gonna play it.
He's-
Yeah,
Adam
I'm
keeps-
gonna play it when I get the time.
I think
for
I
sure.
am going to play it when I
Your
have
thoughts on it whenever you do play it too. So
Mhm,
I'd love
yeah.
to hear what you guys think because it's fun. I think you guys would both really enjoy it. So the graphics are great, the voice acting is incredible, the music's really good. I mean, there's very few things I can find with it that are flaws. I mean, I think it's at least a 9 out of 10. You know, so
Yeah,
great
nice.
game.
Yeah, the music
Sweet.
phenomenal. I saw Adam streaming it the other day. It was a little
Yeah.
fuzzy from his capture. I'm not sure what was going on with it, but
I mean,
it looks
we
super
figured
super
it out.
fun.
We fixed most of it. I think he had his bit rate at like 600.
Oh,
Oh,
crikey.
Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus,
Yeah.
that's insane.
So he
Wow.
upped it. I think he also used an NVENC too instead of H26 or X264.
now
That
you lost.
also-
Yeah, and if he does,
Positive.
if he's got an older video card, he don't want to use NVENC.
Yeah, if he's using the
Yeah.
encoder for his video card, that's a
Yeah.
bad move. Anyway, I'll probably go over there and fix it at some point. So
The old Parsec one too.
yeah.
There you go.
Dude, that's
Very
been like
good.
honestly, Parsec should have been like my pick. It's not really a game, but
Parsec, you're like a master at that now, dude.
Yeah.
I literally was like working today, like for a job, making money using Parsec because I had to like tunnel into my computer basically and like remotely control my computer. You know,
I just wish
So
Parsec
cool.
allowed you to see all the screens.
it does. It does.
Oh, does it now?
What?
Yeah, there's a you have to pay for it. It's a subscription-based model,
Oh,
but yeah,
boo.
you can do that now.
Because I
So-
use remote tools every day for my job. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I use, you know, like I can typically see all their screens. If I can't,
Oh,
it's a
nice.
big bummer.
That's awesome.
But Parsec is definitely the best remote tool I've ever used,
Yep.
with the exception of not being able to.
Well,
Yeah.
it'll do that now. I haven't done that yet, but I'm considering it highly because it's how good it's been to me. So
yeah.
That's awesome. Literally, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have any of this set up at all if Colin didn't have Parsec.
that's the first thing we downloaded. I was like, all right, buddy, we're downloading
Yeah,
Parsec.
you really
How do I
like
spell
Parsec?
that? O? No, it's P. It's P-A. What do I, is it on the Google or Ask Jeeves? The
Oh my
Google. Go to Google. Oh my god.
But literally, I was like, Colin, just set up what I need. I can't. I'm done. I wonder if I would have learned to be computer literate if the Parsec didn't exist, though, or I just wouldn't have been that good.
You just would. I would have screamed and like hung up. We wouldn't have been friends anymore. You know.
Yeah, he would have been like, I can't. He doesn't know what Google is.
Very cool. Very cool. Number 2 for Zach. Let's hear it, man.
So once again, I'm going to be a parody of myself. It's Gears 5.
Hell yeah, it is.
Just barely finished so Alex and I have streamed our way through the entire Gears franchise at this point, other than Gears Tactics. That's the only one we haven't done because at some point I got to get Alex in a call and then get Colin to Parsec in and set all that stuff up for us because it's kind of a neat transition right there, a little neat segue because Gears Tactics is a single player game, but I want Alex to be able to control some aspect of it.
Oh,
Anyway,
cool.
Gears 5 is terrific. It takes the Gears franchise away from the Phoenix family and starts Kate Diaz down her own completely tangential journey. Quite honestly, you can actually, spoilers, you can write out one of the Phoenix family completely if you choose that way. We're not sure. Chamali and I were discussing it. We're not sure how they're going to implement that in future story chapters / Gears 6, but if they allow you to make the same decision at the top of Gears 6 that you made at the end of Gears 5, I think that'll do some really cool divergent storytelling with the franchise. The graphics are incredible. They added this quasi open world environment to it this time that sees you choosing bits of the plot as you want to experience them. So instead of just one sort of railroady track that you get in Gears 1 through 4, you can sort of choose your own adventure within the chapter you're working on. So they and me being someone who doesn't generally love open world all that much unless the movement is in some way unique, a la Batman Arkham, this really does a good job bridging that gap. The environments are gorgeous. We found ourselves stopping numerous times to just look around and be like, oh, check out that cool Gothic inspired architecture over there. Or we're suddenly on this Mars type planet. they did some really cool work with red textures that I never thought would be something that anybody would do in a video game. So yeah, Gears 5 is an absolutely tremendous next step in the Gears storyline. Also, they added a whole new mechanic with the helper robot, where he's actually like, he can be a playable character. Chamali offered to play him before then going through himself and being like, oh wait, this is actually not going to be fun. I'm not going to do that. Just keep it with 2 players. And yeah, no, it was a tremendous experience. I loved Gears 5. The fact that it's Xbox exclusive takes it down a little bit, or Xbox and Game Pass exclusive takes it down a little bit in my book. So it's like 9.2, but like, because I had an Xbox One, it was a 10 for me.
I mean, if you look at our list, a lot of the games that we picked are exclusive titles to one console or another. You know, whether it's PC or whether it's Nintendo or PlayStation. You know, a lot of honestly, a lot of the best games are exclusives. That's kind of a bummer for some people, but like
that being a Zelda fan,
exactly. But no, I'm so glad that I was finally able to play a Gears game roughly when it launched. That made me really happy. We were right there in our full plot run when it dropped. So we waited a couple of weeks and we're just like, okay, jumping in, let's go.
Nice.
And it was wonderful. It was absolutely tremendous.
Good. Well, that brings us, before we get to our number ones, we have honorable mentions. I'm going to go through mine real fast. Hyrule Warriors was an honorable mention for me. I think that it's probably the best Warriors style game I've ever played. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm having just a super fun time with it. Just the diversity of characters and everything and their abilities, and like how well it stays true to Zelda is fantastic. My next one is Goof Troop. I played through this with Zach recently on stream, and that was one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had.
Absolutely.
For the Super Nintendo.
My honorable mention as well. Far and away, because of all the stuff that's going on in 2020, where there is no couch co-op at all, that was far and away the best video game experience that I had.
Yeah,
bar none this year.
It was a blast. It was so much fun. Like, we had such a fun time working through those puzzles together and stuff. Like, just a real blast. And then my final honorable mention that I had is Starlink Battle for Atlas, a game that I never saw myself playing until Josh reviewed it, and I ended up picking it up. It's honestly, if you get it on the Nintendo Switch, it is the Star Fox game that we've been missing for a really long time, and it's really easy to just pick up and play for a little while and put down and go run like a quick mission or go battle some things. It's just really good. I was super pleasantly surprised. I thought that game was going to be ass. So those are my 3 honorable mentions that I had.
Who next?
Does anyone else have honorable mentions?
I'll give mine real quick. So I do want to say the Mario 35 Anniversary Edition, Zach reviewed that, but honorable mention, I played the shit out of these games already, and I literally played through all of them this year, is why it wasn't on my list on their individual consoles. But amazing remaster, truly brings a perfect 10, 3 games, all perfect 10s in my opinion, to a farther rank. And Mario Galaxy especially, just completely redone in a way that I feel is tweaked to perfection. I love that. And then my other one is going to, I would give it to Hyrule Warriors as well. Although I'm not as much of a Dynasty Warriors fan, I do think it is the best Dynasty Warriors game. It's really amazing, and it is very Zelda-y, so that's really good. And then honestly, my biggest honorable mention is going to be to Animal Crossing. I poured my life into this game at the time of COVID's peak, and I had no friends or anything. And me and my buddies were all just using Nookazon and all this amazing stuff. And the game really created an online community, and the game was more than the game by a lot. A lot of what I was doing with the game was online on Nookazon and Discord and whatnot, doing dealings and whatnot, and just getting really into this game. And now that my island is done, I feel like a god, and I can kind of put the game aside. But I don't regret any of the time I put into that game, a lot of time. I really love that game. I actually would give it a perfect 10 based on just enjoyment factor. Maybe a 9-8 based on grindiness. But even that's you're still doing something. So it was very fun, and it came out at a very important time. So I would say the word important also, it is an important game, really. It's just because it really came out when people needed something like that.
That was absolutely clutch timing.
Yeah, insane, like almost like they planned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it saw Nintendo Switch sales through the roof. The console was unbuyable at the time of Animal Crossing's launch. So
It's still really hard to get.
still really hard to get, and the bundle is even harder with Animal Crossing. So truly an amazing launch. Yeah, love that game whether you're into it or not. Like it is a good game, really good game.
Very
Yeah.
good. Colin, did you have any honorable mentions? You don't have any on the list.
No, I don't. I don't have any right now.
That's fine.
No.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
play Origami King?
There you go. Well, guys, that brings us to our number ones.
Let's do it.
This is our number
one.
ones.
Number one.
Number one.
First here.
Josh, you're up. What was your number one game that you played this year?
The number one game I played this year, and it has reached probably my number 11 or 12 favorite game of all time. Like it didn't quite break the top 10 for me, but it is really close in my top 10 favorite games of all time is Celeste. This game is a must play. I'm just going to say it is a perfect 10 already. It is more than that even. One of those games that will truly hold up for all time. I think it is just a perfect platformer. What's happening, Paul? Some goofy shit? No? Does my face look weird?
No,
All
you're
right.
good.
Okay. Perfect platform. If you're not a platformer fan, I don't know what to tell you. Like maybe you want to challenge, like I don't know. Like maybe I'm just such a platformer fan. I'm seeing past anything else, but I truly think if you even just like a challenging experience, this is just a pin perfect, just like how Katana Zero is pin perfect, but there's really no downfall to dying or losing any health. And it's just like fast, instant respawn, and you learn from your mistakes. And there are endless puzzles, and the game feels so satisfying every step of the way. And the finale, spoiler alert, you literally are just sitting on top of Celeste Mountain and you're just feeling all of your accomplishments. You're feeling the weight of your journey and you truly accomplished something great. This game has perfect controls, perfect graphics that will hold up. In my opinion, the pixelation is perfect the way they did it. Story is fantastic, truly an introspective journey of the character who like discovers herself like through this amazing mountain climb that ends up being more than she realizes it's just climbing a mountain. It's like truly climbing yourself almost in a way. Like I almost cried at the ending, like really an amazing, like, you know, overcoming like your own obstacles is kind of what I meant to say. Yeah.
I know what you meant. The
yeah.
turn of phrase made me laugh.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, climbing myself. But music, fantastic. Music is probably the best part of the game next to the gameplay and the story. So yeah, obviously in the top 5 things that are amazing about this game, but also simplistic enough that you can pick it up, put it down. Also, it lets you skip cutscenes, which is really good for replays. And it is one of those games that I could absolutely see myself wanting to master as a speedrunner that like just likes to speedrun games occasionally, having mastered Cuphead and all those, like truly one of those challenging games that you feel incredible like running through those levels. And when you play level 1 again after beating it, you're like, damn, I'm a god. Like I know this game. It is amazing. 10 out of 10, if not more. Best game I played all year. Hands down, like best new game I played all year because I played Ocarina of Time this year. So I say buy it. I have it on Steam and I got it on the Switch recently, and I don't regret that at all. I'm like very gradually playing a replay of it, but an amazing game. And if you're 100%ing it, one of the hardest gaming experiences ever, and it is rewarding as fuck. Do play it if you are a fan of gaming.
Very good, very good. Colin, what's your?
How do we top that?
What's your number one game of the year? Let's hear it.
So the caveat here, I don't think this is like the most incredible game of all time. I don't know if it necessarily would hit number one without certain like reasons why. Because I don't think it's a perfect game. What I liked about this game was that it was one of those games that just kind of brought everyone together. It was just like kind of the game that we needed this year, you know, where it was just you and your friends hanging out, going ghost hunting. You know, Phasmophobia is the game. And that to me was just like a lot of joy I got from that game. You know, again, I talked about how like single player versus playing with your friends, you know, how I'd always pick, for the most part, playing with your friends and experiencing those moments together. I bought this game for so many of my friends because I just wanted to experience it with them. Like, I just think I really get a kick out of. Yeah, all my friends, I said.
Damn it.
Yeah, he played it with me.
Yeah.
I thought you said
with you and Adam and Ness and Faye and Josh, and I played with a bunch of other people too. Like this game was just something really special for me, and it was just a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed it this year. And I mean, like, I think the shortcomings would be replayability. After a while, it's kind of the same thing, and they need new content. But like, even still with all that, it's still one of those fun like first experiences. It's kind of like playing VR for the first time for some people because of the immersion that comes with it, of the voice enabled what, like being able to talk to ghosts with your voice, basically, having to like shut up because the ghost will hear you and find you if you keep talking, like, I mean, that's just a novel concept, but like it's pretty incredible for what it does, because it really does put you into the world of Phasmophobia as if you're there. So to me, that game was kind of just like one of those games that come along that kind of like were definitely an indie game and definitely could have done better with their graphics and everything, but like it just kind of it was like a perfect mess, they came together and it was a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of like a Five Nights at Freddy's, like
Yeah, it does.
those games were like really simple, but yet very clever, and the immersion was there, and the ability to get people involved in it and excited about the game, was something just different that we don't normally see. We've seen a lot of like horror games come out that were kind of all the same walking sims, and this was a little different. This changed things up just enough to make it really interesting and fun.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think the cooperative side of things and the idea that you play with your friends to win together was just a lot of fun. So yeah, where like other games are more competitive and you kind of get hurt feelings and people upset and angry and going off, frustrated about the game, where this game was more like you just laugh about it,
And
Yeah.
it, like I can agree that it is a really unique adventure that you can go on with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels like it when I was playing it with Colin, it felt like me back in the day when I was a kid and we'd like go down to the creek and go into like the drainage tunnel thing and like have spooky adventures in there, you know?
Mhm.
Like that's how I felt. And like I think Colin hit the nail on the head. Like it is just like a super unique experience that you can have with your friends.
I will say this is probably the best co-op, aside from like Resident Evil, and even maybe different enough to qualify, the best co-op horror game that exists. I think.
Yeah.
Especially, I haven't played it in VR, but I think if you have VR, it enhances it greatly.
I would shit myself.
I was just say, I've not played it yet, but
Need a diaper for that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rubber pants game.
Horrifying. Yeah.
rubber bands.
It's a rubber bands game. I think
As
Colin
opposed,
all dropped actually.
Did he? Damn it.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's gonna give it a 9 like he did everything else.
All right. Well, that's okay.
Damn it, Colin. No, you got dropped.
we'll let Zach give us his game of the
Yes.
year. Let's hear
well, so mine is definitely not a rubber pants game. It's a remaster and a complete overhaul. Oh my god! Like I was a giant fan of Link's Awakening as a kid, but holy crap, the new version is astonishing.
it. Mhm.
The reason it's my number one is because I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop playing the damn game.
Or yeah.
I would get home every single day if I had even left the house and just snatch my Switch back up and grind through a bunch more.
Mhm.
I remember most of the puzzles and the story and all that stuff, but it all felt like a completely new challenge because everything was so precise and crisp and beautiful. The new artwork is off the chain. It's so good. And it's pretty well documented. And Adam and I have debated this back and forth for as long as I've known him, that, he likes Link's Awakening a little bit better than I like A Link to the Past a little bit better. The games are so similar when they came out in terms of gameplay that you got to love both of them. And the same, any one of those top-down Zelda games, Phantom Hourglass, I love to pieces. And they all play very similarly mechanically, but I want all of them. Four Swords, all that stuff.
Yes.
Minish Cap.
Season Oracle,
Don't forget Minish Cap.
All that stuff. I want all of those in the new art style so badly.
And quality of life enhancements, like your sword doesn't have to be an item that you equip every fucking time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
dude, the control enhancements that they did for the new version is awesome.
I
Like
was
that's
just
one
thinking
thing about
Yeah.
the original game did a lot to revolutionize Zelda as it was. Like a lot of the things from Link's Awakening transferred over into later Zelda games, and I think they did that again with this one.
Yeah, they've totally recaptured what it meant to be a top-down Zelda game. And I want to go back and play it. I've got so many things to do to play right now, but I really want to go back and play it again. It's only been a couple of months since I played it. I want more. I want more now.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening is definitely my top choice this year.
That's got to be perfect 10.
And yeah, it's absolutely a perfect 10, if not higher. Absolutely amazing game.
What I love about it, aside from everything, is that it's the first top-down Zelda we've arguably like seen in a while, aside from 3DS versions. So like really reintroducing that style of Zelda to a younger audience and people that hadn't played it before. Like I am glad they are deciding to continue with top-downs.
Yes,
it's amazing. It is Zelda, top-down 3D. It's all Zelda to me. Like, and it nailed the feel. Fuck.
Yeah, I had some students who, like, they're into Fortnite and Five Nights at Freddy's and these games that I don't even acknowledge because reasons. And one of them picked up Zelda over the summer. He's like, "Oh my god, this game is amazing. Where has this been all my life?" I'm like, "You couldn't have listened to me, 6 months ago when we went into lockdown, and I said, if you're gonna get one game during this lockdown, go get A Link to the Past, or Link's Awakening rather." And he's like, I will listen to you from now forever, because like every week now he's coming. What have you played this week? Should I get it?
There you go.
Yeah. Aside from the potential remake of Ocarina of Time on the Switch, I will say it is the best Zelda game on the Switch, hands down. It is easily the best Zelda game on the Switch right now, hands down.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I love it. All right, last but definitely not least. Yes, you guessed
Paul is a parody
my top one. My top game of the year. I kind of review. Okay, so here, let's just put it this way. It's Ghost of Tsushima. You guessed it. It's Ghost of Tsushima. And there's a lot of reasons for this. I think when I reviewed it initially, I gave it maybe like a 9 or a 9.2 or something like that. And then I gave the co-op version also like a 9 or maybe an 8.5 or something like that. But if you combine the two of those, it's a fucking 10, dude. That makes that game a 10.
That's not how averages work, Paul.
No. It's greater than the sum of its parts.
He's adding them together.
It's greater than the sum of its parts.
Make it like higher than it's like a 17 or something. I can't do math.
It's a 17.7. Thank you. That's the rating I give this game. Because here's the thing. As it, like, when the game released, it was an incredible single player adventure. And that was it. And it was really, really good. Like a really gorgeous, probably the most gorgeous game I've ever looked at. Like, it's beautiful. The gameplay's incredible. The combat's incredible. The story's great. The music's incredible, right? But it was just that, right? No new game plus, no multiplayer. Fast forward a couple months, they, for free, release an update that gives you new game plus. It also gives you a free co-op, like, looter slasher game that has a ton of levels. I think, how many levels are there? There's a bunch, right? I want to say like maybe 12 long missions that you can play through. It gives you like similar to Destiny Nightfall, you can play harder versions of those missions. It gives you a survival mode, and then they came out with a 3-part raid. A 3-part raid. And the raid is incredible. It's so good. I put it on the same level as like some of the best Destiny raids that they've put out, right? And it's just, oh man, it's incredible. Like I can't even think of any other way to explain it. If you have a PlayStation, you need to play this game. It's
sorry, I think you said it, but how many players go on the raid?
4.
Well, that's to its credit, that's a lot easier to get together than a 6-player person.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really good like LFGs. I played with Merctool, and we were able to easily find people through LFGs. Every weekend that we played the raid, and it was fun. I had a really great time. The loot's awesome. The visuals are awesome. It's all in like a very like spooky, demony world. And like if you know the lore behind it, it's kind of like there's an NPC in the main game that's a blind storyteller, and it's like he's telling the story of Ghost of Tsushima in his like how he perceives perceives it in his blind mind, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
it's like it's a fanfic.
That's
Like
awesome.
he's perceiving this Mongol invasion as like an invasion of demons, and all this kind of crazy shit that's going on in the universe, and it's so good. So
Fuck
yeah,
Buy it.
I mean that's my game of the year. I give it as a whole. If it was just the single player, or if it was just the multiplayer, I'd say 9, maybe 9.5. But after they combined it all together, this is a solid 10 of a game.
Yes.
And I highly
That's
recommend
fantastic.
if you own a PlayStation.
Dude, I'm so
you
glad
should
it
get
panned out too,
Yeah.
because you were so excited about that game, and we kept needling you like, if this game sucks, you're gonna be really, really angry.
I was honestly very scared that I wasn't gonna like it, because I'm not generally a huge fan of big open world games.
Right.
But you can play this game 100% linearly, if you want to. That's an option.
That's
So
fantastic.
it doesn't force you to do any of the side content. You can just play. You can honestly beat the game pretty quickly if you play it linearly. But the side content's all really good. There's no like fluffy, stupid side content for the most part. Yeah, this was also my first ever platinum. Because I'm not really a completionist.
Oh my god, you platinumed it. That's God mode.
I platinumed it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Nice.
That's it. That is it, guys.
We did it. We
Nice.
got there.
We did it.
did it.
I mean, this was our first ever hour-and-a-half long episode, I think.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we went a little long tonight, but I think it was a fun ride. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on Game of the Year? This, as shitty of a year as this was, we've had a real fun time with video games this year.
Yeah,
and I
I
think like
especially
it's-
during the height of COVID when it first hit, I was just like, oh, every game I've never played, let's bring it.
Yeah. We all needed something this
Mm-hmm.
year, and it's a good thing that the game studios were able to get their acts together, at least on some level, Cyberpunk notwithstanding. That and I'm sure we'll get into that at some point.
We'll
I was
talk
talking
about
to
it,
one of the talking to one of the artists about it last night, and he was like, I'm glad I'm
Hey,
not working for them anymore.
just as a caveat to that, that is Chamali's Game of the Year. So
yes.
I've got complicated thoughts on it, and we'll definitely discuss it on a later episode for sure.
Yeah.
But,
All I know about it is genital customization, so
That's important.
But I mean, Cyberpunk notwithstanding, game studios really brought things together this year. They made things, they got things out on time. They got enough content. Animal Crossing was huge and came out exactly when it was needed.
Yeah, huge.
So many other games came out. I firmly believe there was literally something for everybody out this year.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That's a good point.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
That is really good. I think that's a great way to close out the show too.
Bye.
Keep remaking old games, guys.
Yes.
Do it. Keep
I
doing
mean,
it.
that's how you keep this is difficult happy.
Yeah,
We
that's
like
true.
retro.
That's true. All right, guys. Right now, if you're watching this live, you're watching it on my Twitch channel. I stream video games on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I do our special stream is Samurai Saturdays. Honestly, lately it's been Samurai Saturday every day because I'm playing through Neo. I want to finish it so I can review it. And also Neo 2 is coming out on the PC soon, so I want to get that done. But I do play a wide variety of games. It's a lot of fun. 4G's phone died again. That's a shame, but hit him up wherever you can. Discord's probably the best place to find him these days.
Him. Edit your bullshit.
Hire him
Yes.
to if you're interested in streaming, he'll teach you. He'll run you through the ropes.
Real streamer, yeah.
He'll help you learn how to edit videos. He's a very cool guy. You can also find me on Twitter at Ryugami-sama if you want to yell at me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't care about likes or comments. You can do that. That's fine. I'll interact with you. But what I really care about is if you enjoy the show and you watch it on YouTube, please share that with your friends.
Yeah.
That's what really matters to us. So
we need to get on Spotify or something like that.
Yeah, we've talked about doing audio. We'll continue to talk about that. That's a logistics thing for us, really.
I know how to do that.
All right. Well, Zach and I will deep dive into that.
Yes.
But yeah. Yes. Josh. Where can we
Yes.
find you, my guy?
So I'm taking a little hiatus from streaming right now, but Lord Yeshua and Lord Yeshua TTV on all my socials. You find me here for now every Sunday on the podcast. Yeah. Retro streamer. I don't know. Pretty much if there's a Mario game, it's hard for me not to. So
Yeah.
or anything like that. Yeah.
Very
Playing
good.
Hyrule Warriors right now specifically.
Love it.
Yep, love it.
Zach, where can we find you, my guy?
I stream Thursdays, alternating Fridays and Saturdays on Another Letdown here on Twitch. You can find me at DENONCZD on Twitter, and I stream video games and other stuff because I do tabletop games and miniatures painting as well.
Digi games and other things, but mostly just video games.
I guess I'm a perfect fit here.
Yeah,
Good, Mark.
perfect. All right, very good. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have an awesome evening. Have an awesome holiday. We'll be back next Sunday with a very special prediction episode and maybe some fun Zelda stuff. So
The thing we like talking about most. Stay tuned for it.
you guessed it. All right.
You guessed it.
Have an awesome night, you guys.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.